For a new state-of-the-art health center announced in Springfield today.
Baystate Health and MassMutual are teaming up in the effort to improve health equity and meet the growing needs of the community. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lokri joins us live in studio with what is now in the works. Reagan?
Abby and Chris, Baystate and MassMutual announced a plan to build a comprehensive community health center in the heart of the city. A huge announcement coming from Baystate Health and MassMutual. Tuesday morning, state and local leaders gathered at Springfield City Hall as MassMutual announced they will be donating approximately 10 acres of land valued at an estimated $5 million in the southeast corner of its Springfield campus, as well as providing financing and other support for the project. In addition, the MassMutual Foundation is donating $5 million over 5 years to support the new state-of-the-art health center that will be owned and operated by Baystate Health. The expected cost for the project is $45 to $50 million in total.
And this represents a work of a lot of people across our community. You know, we're going to be able to help well over 100, I think I've seen estimates of 145,000 people a year at this new center, give them state-of-the-art care, easy to get in, easy to get out.
The goal of this new facility is to provide easy access to healthcare services for the most vulnerable and underserved populations in the city. Western Mass News spoke with Springfield resident Victor Smith, who tells us he's all for a new facility in his community to help those who lack access to the care they need.
Anything for the kids and seniors, I'm in total agreement.
State Senator Adam Gomez also spoke at Tuesday's announcement. He shares why this health center will be different.
This center will have a greater access to the public. For transportation, ample free parking that you've heard, and also a place where organizations can have a part of being a part of the community and call home.
With this new community health and wellness center, Baystate Health will consolidate services from 4 of its existing Springfield health centers to the new building. The centers and their services that will be transitioned to the future Wilbraham Road location include the Mason Square Neighborhood Health Center, Baystate High Street Health Center, Baystate High Street Pediatrics, and Wesson Women's Clinic. All of them will remain open and fully functional until their services can be transitioned to the new health center. Dr. Mark Kerouac, President and CEO of Baystate Health, explains that these existing community-based facilities are limited in size and scope with many infrastructure challenges that require significant upgrades and capital investments to allow for growth and expansion of services.
We were held back by our facilities, which are crowded, aging, and hard to keep up to date. As we consolidated our suburban and rural practices into larger health and wellness centers, the differences between them and the clinics became stark, and we began to dream of a health and wellness center right here in Springfield.
Dr. Kerouac goes on to explain that the new center will provide Baystate Health with a state-of-the-art modern facility to provide robust care for patients as well as attract top providers. Baystate Health is committed to engage the community and local leaders during the planning phase of the project. Construction is expected to break ground sometime in 2025 and be completed in 2027. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Lokri for Western Mass News.